All right. Great. And then I'm just going to unpin you. All right. I think I did all those steps now. That has been really great. I'm sure our ladies have a lot of questions, a lot of experiences that they want to share. I'm going to be courageous and go first, though, if I may, jump ahead of the line.
First of all, before you share your question,
yes,
I want to say I love that you shared points along the way in the chat section. That's really nice, and I think that's good note taking for the group to help everyone remember some of the concepts that we spoke about. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. There was such richness and depth. And what I am learning is that technique of using questions has been really powerful. It's not something I wish I'd always known that. I'd wish I'd always paid attention to that, but questions can unlock a willingness in your brain to engage that statements just can't. So I love that you have so many questions, so many like extension of hand to engage with the parent and child. And it's that openness to communication is so powerful. And I think it's so beautiful in this case. I observe, though, it's very interesting I have two sons and I have very opposite ends of the spectrum on their natural tendency toward bravery and toward courage, and also toward like having a really healthy respect, right? My oldest son has been more risk averse, I guess. He struggles with feeling, for example, swim lessons. Like when you mentioned that example of diving off the board, that sounded very much like my oldest son. And even to jump into the water into my arms was a stretch for him. And then my youngest son, very much the opposite. Like I'd have to have a hand on him anywhere time there was water nearby, because he was so confident in his ability at a year and a half or 2 years to stay above water. So it's very fascinating, this discussion. I thank you so much. That wasn't a question. That was just a lot of observations and thoughts. But
beautiful. Does anybody have any questions? Because I know the time goes by so quick. I want to make sure you have a chance to ask questions. Anybody? Oh, I see Miriam still trying to connect her audio. I'm so sorry, Marianne. Okay, so I don't hear anybody having any questions. Okay, not right now. So I think it was mentioned, rightly so, that children are different, personalities are different. Asking those questions, those open-ended questions, are so valuable, because the easiest reaction from a child in their immaturity is to disengage, to pull back. You can almost see it in their body. The eyes look away, the head pulls back, the body goes sort of rigid. All of that is language. And as we tell, it's almost like pushing things down their throat, right? And that's a terrible way to learn. And that's part of the problem with our public education model that tends to get replicated in our homes, because it's what we experienced in our childhood. It's our understanding, pre-programmed understanding of what it looks like to learn. And it takes a lot, especially in an emotional moment. It takes a lot of self-control on a part of a parent to back off and remember the learning will come. How we get there is what will preserve the relationship or destroy it. And when relationship is destroyed, learning diminishes. The best learning happens in an atmosphere of good relationship and curiosity. Those two pieces right there, good relationship and curiosity, open up a world, keeping in mind that every child is different and their natural inclination toward what they're curious about is going to look different. Now, it does not mean that we can take off the table things that a child is not interested in. This is where it gets tricky, right? If we're going to be practical and real, okay. If we're going to be practical and real, we need to address the areas where children don't want to learn. It's not their natural inclination. So I know that Ruth has a question. Ruth, what is your question?
So I think, oh, you might have answered my question then. That was my, as you were mentioning personality, when do you know to encourage them being courageous or stepping back? Like if they're being resistant and fighting you, do you still, like, what would be some scenarios or some examples to encourage and some to back down?
Right. Well, great question, first of all, because it's not always cut and dry, black and white. There are life a day. Let's forget about life for a minute. Let's just say a single day presents a million different moments in which we have to assess, is this something I need to camp out on? Or is this something that I can let go of and it'll come in time? Let's say you've got a swim lesson, right? It happens to be Wednesday. That's the day we go to swim lessons. Your child gets to class and they don't want to go to the high diving board. Well, is it essential that that child go off the high diving board? Is it essential? Is it life-changing? Is it, and you have to decide that. If the answer is, as long as we make some sort of progress in some area, then to answer your question, Ruth, it's about matching your child's energy. Where is your child comfortable? You have to find that out. Maybe you think your child is comfortable jumping off the ledge, but that day they're not. They don't even want to jump off the ledge. They may be tired, they may be hungry, they may not be feeling well, they may be experiencing any number of things that they are not verbalizing, so you don't even know. That's okay. What matters is that you find out where their energy is. As you said, match their energy. Where are they okay? Recognize and respect what they're okay with, and then see if you can make a little micro win. Maybe the micro win today was you surpassed that days ago, but we all have our ebb and flow of energy. You know, I think about an adult. Some days we get out of bed ready to take hold of the day. We got plans, we're excited, we got energy. Other days, just getting out of bed feels like, I know I can say this for me when I was raising the kids when they were little. There were days where it was just, God, if you don't get me out of bed and help me get through this day, I don't know that I can get out of bed. Right? So children have their moments like that too, for reasons we may or may not even understand. Okay, did I answer your question, Ruth?
Yes, that was good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So let me just follow that up real quick to say, so I gave an example of something, well, class for the day, you know, it's not going to make or break the day. But let's say your child took something out of his sister's hands and hit her in the process. Well, that's not an opportunity. That's not a situation where you're just going to match their energy, meet them where they're at, because they're in a really bad place. And what they've done is clearly wrong. It's okay, Ruth, if you jumped in late. I mean, that's why these things, these teachings are recorded and you can go back. And if anybody ever has a question, tomorrow is a coffee chat for 1 hour. and we can dialogue more about this stuff. So anyway, getting back to, okay, your son hits his sister, takes the toy, you see that happen. That's not a situation where you can just match their energy. You have to be calm, assertive leader in the moment. The children are running sideways, they're upside down, emotions have taken over. It's not logical problem solving time. You're not going to meet them in your energy. You're going to bring your energy, your calm, assertive energy into the scene, into the scenario, into the moment, and you're going to separate. You're going to always separate. Anytime two children are being disrespectful to each other, you separate. You don't just separate so they can still see each other either, because children's egos are very big and they become deflective. What about her? What about him? They did something wrong. It wasn't me. This is unfair, right? So that happens a lot. So we want to separate the children into two different. One child stays seated on the couch, on the floor, wherever the incident happened. Another child is brought to a very different location, and you're waiting for everybody to calm down. You're waiting for the child to calm down. And then we talked about this in another teaching, the questions to ask. What did you do wrong? Why was it wrong? What could you have done differently? So I want to remind you all that a lot of the teachings that I've done already, these teachings are not separate, instructive, in separate strategies. They stack on top of each other. You can bring a concept, several concepts into your day, stack them on top of each other. So I encourage you to go back and watch prior videos so that you can see the strategies and know what to do once you separate the children, because you've had to bring your calm, assertive energy into the moment because their emotions are running sideways. Okay, long answer, but I wanted to get that out to you. Does anybody else have a question? No?
That was good, Lola. I feel like we need examples for adults, just like you mentioned. Sometimes we have to rewire our brain. And lately, I don't know, like I'm one of those who struggle to get up in the morning, low energy, and it's probably, there's many reasons to it, but
Yeah.
how can like I love one of your classes where you shared where you needed a moment and you would cover yourself with a towel.
Yeah.
Like, is there any other tips you can share where we're kind of, maybe we're having an off day or we're being very explosive as moms, right? How can we kind of give ourselves time out or communicate that to our kids better? Because I mean, sometimes I'm not very good at refraining.
Yep.
I used to be. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So
Life
tired.
happened. Life happened. That's a good enough reason right there. Life happened. I got tired. Help. What do I do? Right. So I'm going to grab from another resource I've shared with you all, and I think you have access to, which is routines and time management. I probably, if you're homeschooling, if any of you are homeschooling, I share these principles in that training, and I think that's in the membership as well. So routines help take the energy out of having to think so much. So when we're having trouble just getting out of bed, just don't have the energy for all the things, having a plug and play is a lifesaver. When you have those days where you have, this is strategy now, this is hardcore, simplified parenting strategy. When you have your energy, the most important thing you can do with your energy is help the children develop routines, repeatable, predictable behaviors that keep the day running smoothly. And if the more you can practice when you have the energy, is the more when you don't have the energy, the kids can go into auto mode. When I taught routines and time management, we talked about creating together as a family routines that work for everybody. Because when everybody is on board with the routine, you're going to get a lot more cooperation, a lot less resistance. So that's key. But you also, one of the schedules that I made, that I shared, is called a rainy day routine. Everybody needs a rainy day routine, which is, what does the routine look like when I'm sick, the kids are sick, I mentally feel incapable of doing anything. I just need bare minimum done without anybody killing themselves. I need the kids to stay busy so they don't get bored and start terrorizing each other. What's my plug and play in that situation? So it's really important to create a routine that's bare bones, so that what you could stay in bed and the children know what they can do on their own and know what to bring to you in bed. You should be able to, you can, more importantly, forget about should, you have the potential to create systems that are so practical. You can stay in bed and still have the day run without it turning upside down. And the only way that can happen is if you properly maximize the days where you do have energy, so that you train the children what to do when you don't have energy. Because we live in an information age, we're overwhelmed with information. We have things that promised to give us more free time, to give us more ease, right? Like the washing machine and the dryer and food that we don't have to grow and pick and harvest and prepare at home. Like we just go to we have all these things that were supposed to make life so easy. And what they did was the exact reverse. It non-verbally made us try to cram in more because we can do more. Years ago, all the women gathered to wash the clothes, and it was a day activity. And everybody didn't expect anything else because it was wash day, and there was community. Women were together. It was healing. It was nurturing. It was good for in so many ways. And there was low expectation because all we're going to do is wash the clothes today. And the kids were learning how to wash the clothes today. That's not the case anymore. We're expecting so much of ourselves that it's burnout. It's just burnout. So it goes against the grain. It's really hard to do. But what I want to encourage you to do is take a look at everything you try to accomplish in a day and pluck out the things that really don't have long-term value, that don't match your family's goals, dreams, desires, and values. Because those things do creep in. We're like, oh, I can squeeze one more thing in, right? Isn't that what we just are programmed to do now? I can squeeze one more thing in. And then we wonder why we're tired and drained and all of that. So I think my older children, is this from a book or a course? Okay, couple things going on here, a couple conversations. Let me address this one first. Routine and time management is found in the homeschool. It was an event. I forget what it was called. Homeschool Summit. That was done probably 6 months ago, and it's in the Rooted Cafe membership. And I shared there a lot of these valuable principles and schedules that you can make up, or how you can gain mine, because I have them pre-done for you with sample pages so that you can do your own plug and play without having to think so much. Okay, and then this next question comes in. I think my older kids have been trained to do too much, and I feel like I'm not doing enough with my littles. So I feel like there is imbalance, and we differentiate. We need new systems and routines. Yeah. Pain, overwhelm, exhaustion is God's little way of nudging us to create change. We are not, his burden is light, his yoke is easy, right? Didn't we come to the Lord because we needed that relief, that rest, the burdens removed? right? He did not do all of that so that we can pack on Babylon, the pressures of Babylon. And it takes a lot of, what's the word I want? Like feeling it really heavy, a lot of passion, a lot of determination to say no, 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 no. Okay, routines and time management in the Homeschool Summit in the Rooted Cafe. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the problem is that we are so busy, we don't have time to intentionally create systems that create ease for us. And the brain is wired needing predictability, routine. We like adventure. We're not talking about boredom, you know, where there's no adventure, but again, balance. All right, it's just about time to end our recording. If anybody has a last thought they want to share, by all means, please do. Do I have a book with all these things in there? I'm actually in the process of putting all of these teachings, all of these, a whole year's worth of teaching together into a book. So pray for me. Hopefully that will be ready this time next year, with little video clips to go along with all the chapters. So yeah, I'm excited to get that out to you. I think it'll be a good resource. I love you all so much. I hope to see you tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our coffee chat, where we can just do Q&A and go into your individual situations, share more details, and I will help customize a solution for you and your child. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. God bless you.
Thank you all for coming. This has been great. Thank you. Thank you.